Hey, what's up, guys? So today I want to do a video on the smartest phone versus the dumbest phone. Now, this phone is for the power consumer for phones. This thing has like a built-in fan. I have a gazillion videos on this phone, the Red Magic 9 Pro Plus. I kind of, mumbled there. The Red Magic 9 Pro Plus. I've got like so many videos on this phone. If you'll see my channel, it's pretty much what it's all about. So if you want to see in-depth features, I have all of it on my channel. Just hit that subscribe button, and you'll be up to date with the latest videos and latest phones and everything like that. So with that being said, though, this video is the smartest phone versus the dumbest phone, and there are two different philosophies behind these phones. Now I know I sound pretentious saying philosophies, but hear me out, okay? So this phone can do everything you want it to do, aside from maybe some crappy video calls because the camera is dog on the front. Aside from that, this phone will do everything you want it to. It literally has the convenience of, banking apps. It has, if you need to get into your apartment and there's a certain app for that, for the gate code. Everything in terms of convenience, calculator, everything, is on this phone. You have the ability to game a built-in fan. You have haptic triggers. You have RGB lights on the back. You have a flash if it's dark out. You have different cameras that shoot up to 8K. You have a cool texture in the back. It's thin, it's light. It's literally everything that we have to offer right now. Maybe the 9S Pro was announced just a second ago or something. I haven't really been watching because I've actually been using this phone. This phone can play, but this phone can play every single game you want it to play. It literally has, every emulation potential. You can watch every kind of movie on it. You can do streaming services, everything on this phone. Okay, so why would you even consider a phone like this? Well, the whole point of this phone is to take up your time. This thing takes up all your time. And if you really think about it, just think about how much time you're losing in the day by spending on your phone. Now, you could argue that you're spending valuable time, you're enjoying yourself, you're communicating with loved ones, you're talking online about things you find important. You can make videos, you can play games you really enjoy. There's a lot of things and a lot of things to be gained from this phone, but what I realized was this thing was eating up my time. And so when novelty wore away, what was left was really just me scrolling Reddit and arguing. And not everybody is like this. Everybody has different personalities. And you might be looking at me like, wow, this is ridiculous. Of course, I'm not going to spend my time doing that. But, boredom sometimes will create, the need for some kind of intense emotional experience. And what better than that than arguing? This thing was you know what I mean? So for me, this thing, I would play games and stuff, and then there'd be times where I'd be on Reddit and just share my opinions and arguing, and it was just a really big waste of time. Also, the access to news on this thing, you can see every bit of news in the world. I don't think we're really meant for this. I don't think throughout history, humankind has not had the ability to know what's gone across, what's happened across the world, and now we're experiencing it. We get blasted with information. Whether misinformation or correct information, whether clickbait or not, it's there's a lot going on. There's so much. It's hectic. Another thing too is the emotional manipulation. You really can be with a device like this. You can go online and within 15 minutes you can end up hating an entire group of people that you've subjectively labeled. You could go on there and not care about politics, and within 15 minutes, literally, you could hate another side, hate another group of people. It's kind of insane. If you think about it, it really is. You can get so charged up, and a lot of that is, the short feed type videos, the shorts, you know what I mean? And they're very enjoyable. Some of the stuff's really funny. You can get a huge, emotional shift in a matter of seconds, but I think about what that does to my brain. I don't think we're meant to experience that much emotion that quickly and then just the shift. I really think it's messing with our attention, our attention span, you know what I mean? And if this thing is giving you a ton of pleasure, more so than literally, because these apps are designed to release a ton of dopamine in your brain. Who's to say that you want to do anything else? Of course, maybe you just aren't as affected by phones as me, and maybe you don't even care, and that might be a strength of yours. But for me, I realized I would spend all day on this thing, and I would just waste all my time. I'd be reading YouTube comments or replying, and if you haven't gotten a response, I'm not ignoring you. I've realized that I get very affected by YouTube comments, whether good or bad. It really shapes my day. And so I realized the healthier thing for me to do is just to not read them. And it's nothing personal. I don't want you to feel like you can't make a comment because eventually I'll get back to reading them. But I just realized I don't need to be reading every single comment on my video every single day, and I don't want you to feel like I'm not, taking your ideas in and stuff like that. But I can't really, live my life that way where I'm at the scrutiny of random opinion. Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's say somebody's having a bad day, they come on my video, they leave a negative comment. I'm going to sit here and question my entire videos. I'm going to sit here and question, whether I'm good enough for these videos, or like, it's going to derail me. It's going to change up the course of my day. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to make me feel bad. If I had a video idea, but then somebody doesn't like it, well, okay, now I have to adjust my video. Or if somebody wants me to play some specific game, I didn't want to play the game, but now, sorry, one sec. I don't want to play a specific game. Now I'm, worried that this person is going to be mad and unsubscribe. And then I'm focused on how much subscribers I have and just that never ending climb of never being satisfied with the number that I reach. If you were to ask me, a year ago, having 2,200 whatever subscribers, or 2,100, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, I would be pretty content. But now, there's always that higher number. It's like the never ending chase. If I reach 1 million subscribers, I'm going to want to hit 5 million. If I reach 5 million, it's going to be 10, 15, 20. Like, if I ever reach 1 million, you know what I mean? That's the goal, obviously. But I mean, at some point, you got to realize, like, it's a never ending chase of pleasure. It's just fleeting. Like, you know what I mean? This thing is a great for gaming. If you don't even care about any of this stuff, and you don't, if you're not me, then you might be looking at this like, why would I even care? This is a gaming phone. But like, this is, for me, this is what this phone has led to. Me just, experiencing like a ton of stress from different news things. Like, you know what I mean? For instance, there's like all the protests and stuff. Like, do you think you'd really be protesting if you didn't have any idea about what was going on? Like, do you think you'd really be out there protesting? Like, if you didn't have access to like all this information, immediate videos like showing destruction that, like, in certain parts, are showing, really traumatic things happening. Like, if you didn't have this device, like, and I speak for myself too, if you didn't have this device, like, you wouldn't have like access to all this information. You probably wouldn't be charged up and angry throughout the day, or angry at a specific group of people, or demonizing a certain group of people. And I've been thinking about that, like, and how much of my emotional energy and energy for the day is just hijacked by this thing. You know what I mean? Like me just giving countless hours to this, just staring at this screen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and the anxiety just from this screen in general has, I didn't really realize this. I had this constant stream of anxiety, and it was because of this phone, man. It was, it was the constant need to check for notifications. If I didn't get comments that I wanted on my videos, if they're negative, it would affect me. I wanted likes on social media. You know what I mean? I'd post a picture, I'd check for how many likes I got on it. I deleted my social media recently. I've been feeling way better, way more consistent. Like, without this thing, I still play games. I've been playing like Toontown, which is super dorky, but if I don't even read, I love that game, honestly, bro. If I don't read the comments, like, I'm not going to know if people think I'm a dork for that game, or if they think I'm a loser for that game, or whatever. If I don't read them, I'm not going to sit here and feel bad about what I want. I mean, I'm going to have more of a private life again. It's going to be a world where not everyone knows what I'm doing all the time. There's not going to be this constant pressure of feeling like I need to please other people and just do everything just to, and bend at the whim of people who want me to do specific things. And if they don't, oh, well, they're going to unsubscribe, or, oh, they're not going to like your photo, or, oh, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. You're not going to get as many views in the video. Like, it's this constant need for validation from people that I don't even know, and it's nothing personal. It's just people are strangers. Like, this is like, what time in history have we been so concerned with the opinion of a complete stranger that we need to sit and modify and adjust our lives? Like, at what point in history as humans have we been so concerned, other than maybe like the people locally, but still there was really an emphasis on family and just the closeness of your family. And sadly my grandfather passed. Like, I didn't really want to go into that, but recently, you know what I mean? I realized, like, what if I had not had this phone? What if I had been spending more time with my grandpa? What if I, didn't have the access to all the social outlet I'm making this thing so dirty. What if I didn't have this outlet for social interaction? Well, you could argue, oh, well, you could talk to your grandpa on there, but I wasn't doing that, What if I didn't have this and, I was like, oh, maybe I'll go see my grandpa because I haven't, I've craved that social interaction. And, before, It was like, okay, well, who did you talk to? You talked to your close friends or your family, and that was it. That was who you were close to. Like, you know what I mean? That was who you shared ideas with. And now we share ideas with random strangers on the internet and get mad when they have a completely different worldview than us. Like, it's wild. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't spend the ample amount of time that I wish I'd spent with my grandfather, and, it's a bummer. You know what I mean? I blame these phones, these devices. They've completely hijacked my time. They've completely made me feel insecure and uncomfortable and just not happy. Not happy like you thought it would. Like, and playing Call of Duty Mobile, for instance, right? Like, it's fun because you have haptic triggers, you have all this cool stuff. Like, there's a lot of positives to this phone. It's really cool. It's a really cool device. You can like play like pretty much high quality games like on the road, like, you know what I mean? And there's a big benefit to that. But like at the same time, like, do I really want to spend my day hunched over my phone? Like, no, I'd rather be hunched over a laptop playing Down. That's what I've been doing. Bro, I've been grinding on that game, dude. Um, but think about it. Like, eventually things get boring, and then they have the freaking skin packs or whatever, which are like, you can get this custom skin or this, this custom pack, like, has this thing that's, like there was a Ninja Turtles pack on, Fortnite. I was like, whoa, I want that. You know what I mean? So, but now that I can play Fortnite on my phone, cool. But it's not running at 60 frames per second. It's not running 120 frames per second. Now I have to modify this. I have to change this up. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because it's not good enough if it's just 30 frames per second. It's not good enough. Oh, now I have to run my phone at Diablo mode. Oh, well, the new model of the phone's coming out, so now I have to get the new model because this one, now for some reason, just because they put out a new one, it's overclocked a little bit, and now this one's not as good. It was good yesterday, but today it's not as good. Oh, how long does the battery last? Well, the hardware degraded, so now I have to get a new one. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, this is a never-ending chase. It's like chasing the dragon. There's this thing in South Park. It's so funny. It's the South Park where they're playing Guitar Hero. I don't know if you guys remember playing Guitar Hero, but I really like that game. It's you get better, you do all that stuff, right? It's really fun. They have a similar game on VR if you're interested. It's actually drums. It's pretty sick, but I haven't been playing. It's called Drum Hero. It's really fun. And like in that South Park episode, they're playing Guitar Hero, but then Stan goes to the store and he wants to return Guitar Hero because he's addicted, and he's like, I don't want to play this stupid game anymore. It's controlling my life and changing my life. But then the guy at the store is like, have you tried Heroin Hero? He's like, what? He's like, you don't actually inject heroin, so don't worry. But you spend the whole time chasing a dragon. So the video's like him chasing a dragon the entire time, like, and it just the arms like this, and it just injects. It's like this, and like, is this not what we're doing? Like, obviously, no one's sitting here injecting heroin. And if you are, I feel bad. I'm sorry. Like, but, you know what I mean? Nobody's really doing that. Like, but what are we doing? Like, is it not the same thing? Am I not participating in some endless chase to be satisfied by these phones, these devices? Like, oh, the iPhone isn't good enough now. Oh, the S24 Ultra isn't good enough because it doesn't have this amount of RAM, even though it's $1,000 phone. Oh, the iPhone isn't good enough, even if it's $1,000 phone. It's not good enough because it doesn't allow this and this and this. It's a never-ending chase, guys. It never ends. It never ends. And so, what is this? So then we move over here. Well, what's this phone about? It takes away all of that. I really can just call and text. I can listen to podcasts and stuff like that, but personally, I don't even listen to that because I don't really want somebody, I do it to learn. I like this guy, Leo Gura from Actualize. I think he's a smart guy. He has a lot of, maybe videos that are a little weird, but a lot of his basic psychology stuff, just like, not caring about what people think of you, things like that, like, you know what I mean? How to deal with negative emotions, how to, meditation, but just, I don't really like the whole spiral dynamics thing. I think it might be a little bit culty, to be honest. I don't really know, but it's kind of strange. But, they're 4-hour videos. I don't know. But to me, that stuff's a little bit, but like the basic psych stuff I really like from this guy's videos. So I have a few podcasts of his on here, you know what I mean? And they're really nice and they really help me emotionally. But, I realized I can achieve this whole like, piece of just not caring what people think about me way easier, like just so much easier if I only have a few people to deal with that don't like me versus, a bunch of people online that don't like me. And how am I going to know if somebody likes me or not if I have this phone? It's just an e-ink display, guys. Look, dude, like that, look, notification, boom, right there. Like, you know what I mean? It looks like a freaking Kindle. but it's like it's called a light phone if you want it. It's $300. It might be not worth it to you. You can get a cheap phone for like 50 or cheaper. You can get a free phone like this, but I personally really liked how the phone felt. I'm a phone enthusiast clearly. So I like to get things like this. You might think it's a waste of money, and it might be, but I really enjoy it. I think it's a cool phone. Here, let me I don't know if I have messages or something up, but yeah, basically, I'm gonna try to cover numbers and stuff, but like it shows text and stuff, right? So this thing, I'll show you what this does though. I have a full video on this, but you get phone alarm, calculator, calendar, directions. This thing's FPS is hilarious. It's like 15 or something worse. So like the refresh is ridiculous, but like it's still, you get hotspot, music, notes, podcast settings. Like you get stuff, so you can listen to stuff, but you don't get the constant like visual stimulation of staring at a screen all day, which just eats away at your mind too. Like, do you remember as a kid, people were saying like, don't stare at the TV screen all day because it'll kill your brain cells. Like, I don't know if this is completely true, if it was just kind of out of fear or something like that, with new tech or whatever it was. But maybe that's true. This thing is not killing my brain cells. This thing isn't causing me stress. I realized even just the screen, like the display itself, it was causing me to feel this weird stream of anxiety, and I didn't realize it, but I don't think we're meant to be staring at a phone screen so much. And it's so easy to just like, oh, well, you could put a blocker on this phone. Yeah, you could, but like at the same time, the entire time I put an app blocker on there, I just wanted to get past it. I would do everything I could. It's been forever trying to get past it. It's like the stupid dragon chasing thing. Okay, well, so it's like, now that if I have access to this, then I'll be, I made a mistake putting the blocker on, so now I got to take the blocker off. Like, you know what I mean? Or yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? These things, they make you hate yourself. Whereas this thing doesn't even let you. This thing's a little joke, dude. This thing doesn't even let you. You call, you text, you have a few features. Like, there's no camera. I don't have the ability to constantly record things or stare at myself or take pictures or take a gazillion videos trying to make sure I have the right video, the right ideas. Then I just exhaust myself. Like, I don't have the ability on this. Some would argue I don't have the ability on this one either. But yeah, like, think about it, like, if you find me repeating things and I'm being redundant, I apologize. This is me just kind of like getting out what I've been thinking for a while and what I've been feeling for a while. And, this is pretty important to me. So yeah, but yeah. But yeah, this thing doesn't like let you record everything. If we just didn't even have camera phones, like we wouldn't have people being doxxed online, like somebody's entire life being ruined. Like, how crazy is that? If you like take a step back, like out of your ideologies and out of your, your little thought loops, like, it's crazy too. Like there's an algorithm. It's like if you watch something and you engage in something, it's going to go and continue to show you things. So you could sit there and think that everyone is out to get you because you're this kind of person, and you go outside and nobody's even doing anything but looking at their phones. I mean, you might be in an area where something really bad is happening, and I'm not going to go into specifics about where things might be happening and the why and the how and all that stuff. It's a whole different discussion. That's not really the content of my channel and something I don't really discuss anyway. But still, regardless, like, unless something like that is happening outside of you, realistically, like, at least for me, I'm fortunate enough to live in a place that's very safe. You know what I mean? And comfortable. And there's not a lot of bad stuff going on. So like if I don't have access to my phone, which is sitting here telling me that this horrible thing's happening, I'm not going to sit here and be scared of things outside. I'm not, and maybe there's not, it shouldn't be naive, of course, but realistically, like, why, like, I'm not going to have a certain group of people after me. I'm not going to have be against a certain group of people. I'm not going to be in a situation like this. Like, this is not something I ever will allow myself to be in. I don't even participate in arguments, really. Like, well, I guess I kind of do because on Reddit, but in person, I try to just avoid it. Like, that's something that I like doing. I think that the best way to win a fight is to de-escalate the situation. If you can't, you fucking run. If you can't run, you fight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what you do. This is the best way to do it. Like, and I was taking some MMA, but I recently had to cancel the membership because I had purchased some software development. This is the notification for this one. It's kind of cool notification, but I purchased some software development stuff. I purchased Unity, and that was about the same cost. So cost effective wise, I'm doing Unity now. So trying to make VR worlds. I think it's really cool. But like, for instance, I wouldn't have had that desire if I'd just been sitting on my phone all day wanting, to waiting for my next paycheck to buy some stupid gun skin that's going to basically not satisfy me. It's only going to satisfy the person that's just raking in the cash off this. Like, you know what I mean? And like, think about games you have to watch ads for certain coins just to continue to play your game. What kind of game is that? You're literally putting money in somebody else's pocket. It's wild. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to play a game like that. I don't want to be playing a game that's, it's a money trap. You know what I mean? Like subscription based stuff, it's a money trap. You know what I mean? I don't really need all this stuff. Like I don't need YouTube with no advertisements. Like it's annoying getting, constant videos of how to get rich quick. And the only reason they're getting rich is because people are buying their course on how to get rich quick. And that's literally the way they're getting rich quick. Or you can, drop shipping or whatever the newest, financial fad is to escape you from the blight of your life, the lack of money you have in your life. Like maybe there's a way to do it. I don't really know. But like you can get so caught up in things. You can sit there and think, oh, well, yeah, now I don't have enough money, so I got to buy this guy's course. Then I have to listen to what this guy says. He'll tell me the same information I heard before, but I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars on a course because this is going to change my life. No, man. No, what's going to change your life is probably getting rid of this thing. Now, I understand there's, maybe you need like a smartphone for your work or whatever. Of course, there are external circumstances that maybe you can't get rid of your phone. Maybe you can't go down to this, but I'm still able to call and text people. I don't have my phone blowing up with constant notifications. I just talk to my mom and my dad, sister, my brother, my cousins. Like back in the day, that's how it was, man. My friends, my close friends, like that's how it was, man. That's who it was, and strangers were strangers. They weren't. You didn't have the access to talk to them, and you can argue that it's a good idea or not a good idea or whatever. But like. Do you get what I'm saying? Like this phone lets you escape from this fucking constant loop of just anxiety, depression, all this stuff, dude. You might realize like you don't even really need the medication you're taking if you don't have the phone that's causing you all the freaking anxiety. If you don't have a phone that gives your boss 24/7 access to you or 24 access to what 7 access to what you're doing, so you lose your job because you make some stupid comment online. Didn't happen to me, fortunately. But people are completely having their livelihoods ruined because of one thing they said, and it goes against like a certain person's ideology. Like this is crazy. Like you realize like online cults form so fast with these devices. You have access to like certain ideas, solidifying your ideas, and all that stuff. And these ideas can ruin relationships and ruin things in your life. Like it's crazy. This thing is insane. These things are insane. Like we've never had this, like the ability, obviously we've been having these devices probably since 2008 when the iPhone took off was really the time where you had access to the internet. But ever since 2008, being 2024, you know what I mean? 16 years or whatever, or however long it's been, you know what I mean? If I'm mathing correctly. 16 years. We've had these, and nobody's really sat here and questioned whether these things are good for us or not. It's just get the new thing, get the newest device, then get wrapped up in the same ideologies, get wrapped up in the same need to impress random strangers online. And if this person doesn't like your phone, like your photo, you feel insecure. But what if the person just never went on the internet? What if the person unfollows you? You think they hate you? They just deleted their social media. What if they just the algorithm unfollowed them for some reason? Like you never know. But you're literally living your life to get these followers, to get a stream of income going. And like, yeah, it's fine. But like, is the extra whatever amount of money worth it? Maybe if you have a ton of money and you're getting rich off this. But if you're not getting rich off it, maybe you're growing it. But if you don't have some kind of purpose, like what are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? And like I sit here and make these phone videos, but I question, do I want to spend another grand, another $1,300 on the 8S Pro, which is the same model as this phone? But next thing you know, I'm going to get a comment on a video of mine saying that this is the old phone. Now we have this one. Like, oh, well, it's not the new one anymore. Your video is obsolete. Like, I've gotten comments like that. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, and I can't tell if I'm getting comments like that when I have this baby. You know what I mean? This sweet, freeing device. This thing is the epicenter of freedom, man. It's freedom, bro. You're free from all this bullshit. You really are. You might have to deal with some boredom. The downsides are you get bored. Like, I've noticed myself getting bored and feeling, but you have to sit with yourself, this thing causes you to sit with yourself, man, because you can't escape the world in your phone. And maybe the escaping the world in your phone is maybe a good thing or whatever, but it kind of gets in the way of your goals too, like for instance, like phones get in the way of, medium to long-term goals because of numerous reasons you probably could research and look up online, but that's general statement is true. You know what I mean? Like, this thing has really just set me free from all this stuff, man. I brought this on vacation to where I was with my grandpa for like the last time I was with my grandpa. Sorry, I'm not trying to play victim here. I'm just kind of reminiscing. Yeah, the death happened yesterday, so it's pretty fresh. But regardless, you know what I mean? Like I was able to just realize, like, I'm pretty addicted to that game, but for the most part, like, I was still able to be in the moment. This thing lets you be in the moment, man. It lets you exist in the now. Because time is just a constant stream of now. There's no future, there's no past, there's no present. Of course there is, but it's always been a constant stream of now. Like, you have right now, you have today, dude. You have a constant today. That's what your time is. That's your time on Earth, man. And like it moves quickly. Like, I'm almost 30. I'm almost 30 years old. I'll be 30 in next March. 30 years of my life have gone by. And I would say since about middle school, I've been sitting on my phone. Like, that's what I do. If you want to know what I do, that is what I do. It's become my livelihood. It's become a source of income, like these phones. But it's like, do I want this? Yes, but do I want all the stress that comes with it? No. And I apologize if you feel like I've been ignoring your comments or ignoring things, but for my own mental health, man, the more followers I get, I really appreciate all of you. Like, it's pretty wild. I never expected myself to have over 2,000 followers. Like, that, to me, it's pretty wild, dude. Like, it's a very wild concept that 2,000 people find my videos interesting, that I can sit here and record and have 2,000. That's a whole auditorium. You know what I mean? If that was in person and I was standing up there talking, it would look like a freaking giant TED Talk. It's insane. And people have way more than me, but even just a number of 2,000, you know what I mean? I post a video and 500 people, maybe a couple hundred people watch it. At least if it's bad, I still get around 30 people watching it. Like, somebody is willing to sit and spend time out of their day to watch my phone. That's great. But am I wasting your time? Maybe not. But I don't want you to feel like you're wasting your day on my videos, and I appreciate, hopefully you get something out of my videos. Hopefully you find something interesting. Hopefully I can give you an experience that makes you want to come back. But regardless, there's just something that's always new. There's always going to be something, is kind of switching the topic back, but there's always something new. There's always something better. It's a never-ending race. It's materialism, guys. This whole thing is materialism. This phone is a product of materialism. And yes, it's a good thing, because I think that this allows somebody to make money to survive. This is great. And this allows somebody in a really boring situation that has no access to a game console, that really loves gaming, to experience a game. I'm going to talk about the positives of this device. It's a great phone. There's a lot of cool, because I've been dogging it by talking about this thing. It's not about how good this phone is. This phone is not good if we're talking about in terms of what this phone can do. This thing is not good at all. But there's so much benefit to this for your brain. For your brain, man. You know what I mean? You don't have the constant anxiety of checking your bank account, being stressed about money, being worried you're going to blow your money on some BS. I have been doing way better with finances. And I don't really want to go too personal into all this stuff. And, I've been a bit vulnerable, so I appreciate if you kind of go easy. I'm not going to read the comments. It's nothing against you. I just need it for my own mental health. But it's just, and I feel nervous saying that, because I feel like people are going to get mad and unsubscribe, and then I'm going to lose my followers, but I'm not going to know how many followers I have anyway. If I'm looking at this phone, they can't even tell me how many followers I have. And I don't even carry this thing around, dude. I literally leave it around. And I just check it at the end of the day. That is how communication used to be, with somebody that wasn't there. And I spend quality time with my wife, And that's what I do. I spend, back to what I was saying, I do fear losing people, but at the same time, I don't want that to control me. I don't want to be controlled by an arbitrary number that will go up or go down, based on somebody. It's a desire to control. And I realize that at the core, it's wanting to, continuously get this number that, I said it before, but it's never going to satisfy me. You getting a certain phone is never going to satisfy you, because the next phone's going to come out. I'm getting constant notifications, apologize. it's never going to satisfy the way you want it to. And, you know, like, these phones are not going to satisfy you the way that you want them to. But there are positives. I have a gazillion videos on why this thing's positive. You can do a lot of cool stuff with it. But, at the same time, like, and another thing too is you can bring a lot of jealousy out of people. And I don't like to be a source of that. If somebody can't afford this phone, they see me enjoying this phone, having hours of footage, and they're in a situation where they can't even afford a phone, this makes that person jealous. And that sucks that this brings that out of that person. Like, it's kind of sad, Like, that this person, somebody will never have access to a phone like this, and it's not to knock them or make them feel bad or shame them. I kind of feel bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like, they're not gonna be upset about not having this phone if they have this phone, because they can't even know that this phone exists. And are they missing out? Maybe. But I'm already feeling stressed just thinking about what this phone is and does, and maybe you won't even have, like, look at this thing. It's fucking insane. Like, this thing is insane, dude. I have PC specs inside of a thing that fits in my pocket. That it's wild. Like, and think about where we're going to be in hundreds of years. Like, these things are going to be like, I don't even know what's going to happen. But we're kind of in the screen age, and they're like, if you think about it, we're in the screen age. It might be that, there's different ages of, human history, and we're kind of in the screen age, or the internet era, like the internet age. Like, we are at the beginning of the boom of the internet. Like, you know what I mean? And like, while it has its benefits. Like, you can really, like, things like you can discuss things without getting into combat or literally conflict with people. You can discuss stuff with somebody in Germany. Like, when were you able to discuss something with Germany? You can't get swept away by ideology and then be, told to demonize a certain group of people, because when you talk to them in person, when all's said and done and everyone's calmed down, maybe they got their anxiety out, like, like, in person, you really would never have a discussion like you would online, because you don't have anonymity. You have to deal with consequences. And this is something that used to be a common thing when you were talking to somebody. This is why I think as like younger generations grow up, and everyone's like, oh, the younger generation is the worst. Bro, it's humanity, okay? Humanity has bad aspects to it. It's just a reality, okay? But realistically, thinking, like, you still won't have you won't be charged up about a person about when you have this phone. You're not going to be stressed. Like, you're not going to have stress. You might miss out on the internet. You might miss out on not having something, but you know what this does? This has allowed me to think. You know what I've done in my car when I'm bored? We play I Spy now. When did you remember playing I Spy? Like, we play I Spy. On road trips, we play I Spy. Like, I have come up with Would You Rathers like no other. Like, I've been playing Would You Rather nonstop with my wife. Like, do you remember these games? Do you remember playing board games? Like, bored. That word is kind of, it's kind of a play on words. It's kind of funny. But, you get back to this place that you were at when you were a kid, man. Where life was pretty peaceful for the majority of people that live in a stable society. And because everybody wants one thing, they want stability, security, and they want happiness, okay? At the end of the day, it might look different for certain people, and this causes people let's say you're convinced that peace involves a person not existing, which is horrible, okay? But maybe you wouldn't even have that ideology if you didn't have this freaking phone. Maybe this phone is birthed in and completely a huge paradigm. Guys, you exist on paradigms, okay? We have a way of looking at the world. You're raised with a way of looking at the world. Life is looked at through paradigms. Like, and like, it's good if you're really enveloped in your paradigm, but that's what this is. And if somebody's paradigm is different than yours because of their brain wiring, their circumstances, how they were raised, you shouldn't hate somebody for that. You shouldn't dislike somebody for that. And this thing is not going to help you, because it's going to allow you to look up, to start hating on people, to be, have the anonymity of the internet. You can really just blast people online. Like, it's not going to, like, especially like, it's something like, it's kind of random too, but freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of speech on the internet. Think about it. You can get banned from sites where people communicate. Like you can get banned from Reddit. Reddit is a huge source where people talk. And you can get banned from it for saying something that's bad. If the group of people don't like what you're saying, you lose your ability for freedom of speech if you live in America. Whereas like if you have this phone, you're not getting banned from something. You're probably going to meet up with somebody. You can express and say what you want. You have freedom of speech here. You lose rights with this thing. It's kind of crazy. Like you do though. You know what I mean? But and I might be this might be a far-fetched idea, okay? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. My point though is like this thing connects you to the world, but the world is not always a good place, okay? It's not always a bad place. This thing is not horrible, but it's not good. And this thing is bad in certain ways. Like I can't, do certain things that I would need a smartphone for. I can't look up a number. I have to like turn this on real quick to look up a number because it's convenient. But when the convenience factor is used up and you're just sitting with your phone, what are you gonna do with your time? Like I've just been enjoying life. I've been feeling way better. I've been feeling way happier, man. It's because of this dumb phone. The video, I'm gonna title it as the smartest phone versus the dumbest phone. This phone's gonna make you stupid. This phone's gonna make you smart. You know why? Because this phone allows you to think for yourself. It allows you to have a more general view of people. It allows you to base yourself in reality. There's not, I'm fortunate enough to not be in a place where there's not constant chaos or conflict around where I'm at, which is nice. I'm in a pretty civilized society, which is very nice, okay? And I'm not really worried about the collapse of society or like, if America's doomed or if like all this is like there's or like whatever, or like I'm not gonna hate China because America hates China or what? Because clearly they make cool shit. This is a cool fucking phone brought to you by your boy China. Like who cares? I'm not gonna hate a group of people because my government that I'm under hates a group of people. I'm not gonna have a hatred for somebody who's a human who lives and breathes and dies that wants the same things I want. They want peace. They want happiness. They want friends. They want people to love them and to, they want their life purpose fulfilled. Everybody wants the same thing, We all want the same thing. And you don't have access to adopting like a paradigm where you don't like people on this phone. This allows you to think for yourself. It allows you to have freedom. I get bored of this thing and I put it down. When I'm bored on this thing, I start looking up crap on the internet and start getting fired up on some BS idea that just doesn't really change anything because everybody wants the same thing. Everybody really desires, and people think that this thing is going to allow them to access that when they have it inside themselves. You have the ability to find peace and contentment, and it's not going to be from materialism. This thing represents materialism. This thing represents not following materialism. And it's true. You don't even need this phone. You know what I mean? You really remember having a house phone? You guys remember house phones? You had a house phone. If you wanted to hang out with somebody, you call them on your phone. But even before that, I guess people used to just knock on each other's doors. Hey, do you want to hang out? That used to be how that was. You know what I mean? Like, and there's positives to this thing and negatives to this thing. But realistically, this thing is for me. Okay. And, you might be sitting thinking, oh, well, I want this phone because, and if you want this phone, man, if this is what you think is going to make you happy, go ahead and buy this phone. I'm not saying don't buy this phone. I'm giving you a lot of reasons to buy this phone instead of this one. But the reason this is better is not because of the phone. The reason this is better is because it sticks you in the moment. It allows you to just be around people that you actually love and care about. And, you can still meet up with people. You can still call, text, you can listen to podcasts, all that stuff, dude. But it takes your mind off the screen. You're not constantly looking at a screen all day. You might be looking at a different screen. Might move back to the TV. But at the same time, maybe is that a bad thing? Is it a good thing? You might get bored of the TV easier. You might spend time not looking at a screen. You might go outside. Remember that? Remember going out and touching grass? Remember going to the gym? Do you remember going to the gym? That wasn't for some arbitrary online, everyone's seeing me work out and I have to keep up this workout reputation because I have to get good comments or people are going to like my form. Bro, what the hell? People used to go to the gym just to lose weight. Or they went because they liked it and that was it. They didn't really have this, this whole building an online reputation, trying to make money off of working out. You'll go back to the gym and you'll just go to the gym. You'll just go for the purpose of going to the gym. You'll go to a park. You'll hang out at a park. Remember people would go to parks? Remember that? People still probably go to parks. But remember kicking around a soccer ball or throwing a football? Remember that? This or wherever sport, playing basketball at a park. You guys remember that when you're kids? You do that you at school, recess, things like that. Like, you know, do you remember this? Like I do, and I want this life again. I want that again, and this thing allows me to do it. People are always like looking kind of shocked. My family was really shocked when they saw that I had this. They're like, "What the crap?" Because I always come and I always have the newest, fastest, craziest phone. They looked at this like, "What is this?" Like me, Tom. Like Tom always has like a crazy phone. That's like every year they like. It's funny. I really think like they probably ask themselves before they hang out with me, like, "What phone do you think I'm gonna have?" They probably try to guess. Like and like is he going to talk about phones all the time? But even me thinking about this, I would have never had these thoughts if I were buried in my phone looking at some stupid ideology. And I'm thinking of something fun that's kind of a funny interaction that might happen with my family. Like, you let yourself think again, bro. You let yourself just develop naturally without this constant blast of information. So this is basically it, guys. You might have thought I would do specs here. This is not a specs video. This is not which phone's better. It's which phone I think that this thing will set you free from this thing. But if you're bored and you want this thing, I suppose go for this thing. It really is up to you. I see more benefit in this. I have been not even using it, and I've been feeling pretty good. I use it when I need to. I shut it off, and I go do other stuff. And maybe this thing will let you do it, okay? But yeah, this is 40 minutes of me kind of yapping. Hopefully you didn't get bored or whatever. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and my thoughts on this stuff. But yeah, have a good one, guys. Thanks.